What is up, everybody, and welcome to the RSL. State with me is Sturgeon. We're getting ready to kick off the playoffs here in Season 5.
We are indeed. The group stages are all done and dusted. We have our 8 players. We're going to get into this, into the bracket phase. It is double eliminations, and we have 4 Zergs for the first time in the playoffs, so I am especially excited.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. I really like the way the bracket is shaped up this time. I'm sure we're going to go into that in a minute. Oh, we're going to go into it right now, actually. Ziggy's listening. Today, May 15th, we have Classic versus Solar and herO versus SHIN, 2 PVZs back-to-back. And then tomorrow, if you want more StarCraft 2, 2 more best of 5s, Clem versus ROGUE, Bunny versus Lambo. No mirror matchups here in the round of 8.
This bracket is so good, it almost looks rigged, State. It is. We have some amazing matches here. Clem versus ROGUE, that is going to be an absolute banger. 2 PVZs today, looking very, very good. Super excited to get this started here and see who moves on.
Yeah, it's going to be some really fun matches. Classic Solar, herO, SHIN. These are players that on any given season, whether it be in GSL or RSL, they're all vying for a spot in the top 4. So I'm excited to see who's going to emerge victorious today.
Yes, indeed. And here we have our schedule. We are live today and tomorrow. We will not be live Sunday as it will be the GSL finals. And then we have 2 more weekends remaining on the 23rd and 24th. And then the 30th and the 31st will be an earlier start. That's going to be at 4 p.m. KST, 3 hours earlier than usual. So set your calendars for that.
Yeah, so if you're watching live, make sure you get here early because those final days, they're going to be action-packed, a lot of StarCraft 2, a lot of different series, and we wouldn't be able to do it without our official sponsor here for the RSL, Archon Studio. They're making the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game, and it has been awesome. They've been sending us a lot of things to look at all these products, all these miniatures, and everything has been incredible. It's so thrilling to be partnered with a team like this one.
Yeah, we have so many of the cool units, the models here in the studio that are being painted by the team. They are looking very good, so go ahead and check that out. Also, check out the Patreon. You can help save SC2. This is a completely community-funded thing we have going on here at the RSL. There's also lots of perks for you if you join, such as voting on the maps, getting the replays, voting on the players that can be voted in. So check it out at patreon.com/revivesc2.
You get a lot of bang for your buck on the RSL Patreon. Especially my favorite feature on this is the fan-voted maps have been such a fun addition. I was really skeptical of this when it was pitched as an idea in RSL Season 1 as we take a look at the map pool here in Season 5. Because me, just like a lot of other people, I want to see the standard maps. I want to see the maps on ladder. I'm the one that's going to be vetoing Mothership because I don't want to play on a 3-person map when I'm queuing up. But I must say, the fan-voted maps, you guys have been killing it. These games have been so awesome. We have 3 new maps rotated in for this season. Mothership, Tidal, Citadel, Throne of the Dunes are out. And it's really refreshing to have a different map pool from a lot of the other tournaments that are around.
Yeah, we have like the core standard maps, and then the Patreon have been voting some crazy stuff. We're like Exarch is this huge 4-player map. I'm hoping to see some more games on that. We've got Rorschach as well coming in, as well as At Eternity's Edge. So yeah, they're keeping it fresh, keeping things interesting for us here, showing us some kind of games that we haven't really seen before due to the maps that we've had voted in.
Yeah, and look at this. Set number 1 and set number 2 on 2 of those new maps.
Oh.
Exarch and Rorschach here for Classic versus Solar's. The players are getting ready, and my goodness, Solar's room just continues to impress me. Look at that trophy case in the back. I know Classic's got a pretty impressive one on the left, but wow.
Yeah, that is a lot of trophies between the 2 of them. Oh my gosh.
Is that a little puppy too? I think it's a little puppy that Solar's got.
He does have a very cute puppy, yeah.
Oh, you've seen it?
I think it jumped on his desk during one of the broadcasts or something.
Oh, I wish I was there that day.
On his lap maybe, but we definitely saw the puppy one day, yeah. It's a cutie, and I'm just looking at all this silverware, man. Think of all the things you could make if you melted that down. Like,
who would melt down a StarCraft 2 trophy?
No one, but I'm just saying that's how much they've got.
It's the most evil thought I've ever heard from you, Sturgeon. My goodness. All right, folks. Map number 1 is loading in. We're going to Exarch for the first map here between Solar and Classic. And my goodness, it's my first time casting a game here on Exarch. Look at that mini-map.
It is a big map.
Wow.
It is a big map, and interesting to note, we've got the close by air spawns between these guys. They are not across the map, they're vertically spawned here. We have Classic in the bottom right and Solar in the top right.
This is maybe the most unique looking map I've seen voted in here for the RSL. Can't wait to get into this one.
Yeah, it's definitely wild. In the middle, there is a watchtower, so if you take control of that, You have a lot of vision. Oh, he tries to get this hatchery down, but the probe will actually be there in time to block it. And he's going to go through this little mineral patch here and take the base down here, which is actually quite close to the Protoss.
Interesting decision there by Solar, and Classic also going to be using the worker-only path. Just to confirm, there is a hatchery being thrown down. It's Classic now going for the wall on his own side of the map. Expecting a pretty fast expand to come in here for Protoss, but as you said, Sturgeon, with the expansion for Zerg being so close to the Protoss' base, I wonder if we might see something a little bit more aggressive from Classic here in map number 1. It seems like this might be a really good angle to go in with, say, like a blink pressure timing attack. Even on 2 bases, I could see something like that being viable.
I'm just thinking about an adept build where it shades from the natural and literally one shade and reaches the Zerg base. That would be an absolute nightmare. Or even something like a charged Archon all in. It's going to hit so fast. But we do know Classic, he loves his long macro games, so anything is on the table here.
Yeah, Solar will be at least happy that he's facing off versus Classic and not herO, who would be licking his chops getting ready to exploit this to whatever advantage he can find.
Yeah, luckily Solar has gone the right way with his first Overlord. I mean, if you scout last with your Overlord, you're not going to be able to see the Protoss wall. You won't see the timing on that warp gate, if they're chronoing the Adept, all this kind of key information. So both of them actually scouted the right way the first time, which is nice for both of them.
It feels more impactful for Classic, though, because, you know, if you're not going to take your natural expansion as Zerg, if you're going to be expanding either to the base on either side of that natural expansion, it's a little bit of a gamble if you have a close-by air, or I guess if you're in one of the neighboring corners, I should say, here on X-Arch, because here for Solar, he's going to have to play quite conservatively here in map number 1, just because the Zerg, or the Protoss' base is so close to his most exposed expansion. Had Solar taken the expansion at, say, like 12 o'clock, then things would be a lot safer for him. But as it is, it's a bit of a tricky position.
Yeah, and the Adept is already here. This is so quick. Before the Zerglings can actually even run around to Solar's second base, Workers coming through this worker path here, and there's no Lings right now, so we might see a couple of these drones go down. He hasn't shaded away yet. One falls already. Will he be able to save the second one? Yeah, with the Spore Crawler. Very nice.
Yeah, and the mineral wall, it's a 30 mineral patch, so it takes quite a few trips for this to actually get fully mined out here. Actually, maybe 35. Is it different from each to each? Anyway, 35 on that one that we have highlighted by our observer.
Yeah, it looks like
it's 35 each then. Okay. But that's quite a few trips for a drone or a probe to kind of clean everything up, to have a clear pathway for units such as the Zerglings to actually deal with harassment coming in from units like the Adept. So
yeah, and doing it this early kind of hurts your economy a little bit. Like you have one drone working away on that.
It's basically
he's not
idle.
mining, right? Yeah. Here comes the Oracle. There is a second one on the way. Again, reaching the base super quick. 2 queens are here, but we will see one drone go down before this one is shooed away. Oh, doesn't get the second one there. A little bit unlucky on that second target fire. He confirms the third base. And yeah, I'm just thinking about how exposed this second base is for Zerg right now.
Yeah, we'll see what Classic is going to do. Actually, it seems like he's just going to go for a third base himself. So there is something to be said about not taking the aggressive option in this case, because everybody has this on his mind. Solar has it on his mind that his natural expansion, or I should say his first expansion, is in a very vulnerable position, being so close to the Protoss. That doesn't necessarily mean that Classic needs to even attack to get an advantage from it. Solar's already going to be playing on likely a lower drone count. He might be getting a safety Roach Warren faster than he typically would be. You can't really afford to cut that many corners right now as Zerg with your expansion so close to the Protoss base. And that in and of itself is a little bit of indirect damage. And speaking of damage, 6 drones falling down. So those 2 Oracles really getting a lot of eco harm done.
Yeah, very nice work with those Oracles. It goes the other way as well, though. Zerg's also very close to the Protoss, so they could also do something aggressive on their own. And right now, we see 6, 7 Roaches in the production tab here. He might just be holding this Roach key down and going for it. Yeah, it looks like that is going to be the case. There's already 3 Oracles out, so they have a good chance of spotting this if the Queens don't deny them the vision. He sees the first Roach here.
And Classic confirms no drones at this expansion. Solar is only on 32 drones right now. And these Oracles, they're quite low on energy, and actually one of them gets sniped. Rotating back home, Solar spreading the creep right now. They're on the front line, and one less Oracle is going to make defense a lot more difficult here for Classic. Third base, I think this might just get sacrificed here by Classic. I don't think you can feasibly defend this.
Yeah, he doesn't even need the German taxi. The Queens just walk from that base as it is so close. Roach Ravager knocking on the door right now. The Bio's going down on this Cybercore. The Protoss unit's kind of stuck behind the wall. They are being healed by this shield battery, though. And it's all about if Classic can just hold on here. Solar's only on 32 workers with this all in.
Oracle's able to find one of the Ravagers. Get a lot of damage done. Keep in mind, Solar, with such a low economy behind this, is going to have a hard time reinforcing. Cybernetics Core now has fallen. The next Cybernetics Core is the building you see warping in on your screen right now. It's about halfway done, and Classic's actually mined out this ramp. I guess it doesn't matter too much because you have to focus here on the defense at the main ramp, but it's going to be more Lings going into the main base now.
Oh, they find their way in. There's going to have to be some units warped in back home to defend this, but there's so much at the front here. More bios going down. The Queen's actually blocking all the Zerg units here at the front. The mineral line under attack. These probes will start to fall. And is this the start of something for Solar here?
Maybe. With only 3 Queens, though, I feel like the anti-air is the real limiting factor right now for Zerg. In a couple of seconds, Classic's going to have more energy on these Oracles. He will be able to charge them up again. Another Queen comes in, reinforcing. It looks like we might... there might be just enough for Solar to actually push through. I think the Oracles, they just don't have enough energy. Yeah, that's it. GG's called.
Wow. It's so funny. We were looking at X-Arch as this huge macro map. Like,
yeah.
Imagine how many bases you can take here, and then they get the close spawns vertically, and all these aggressive options just open up. And Solar says, yeah, I'm close to you, but you're also close to me. Let me do a 32 drone Roach Ravager Queen all in, and just takes the first W there.
Yeah, for some reason, I just had it framed in my mind that Classic was going to be trying, or Solar was going to be trying to defend, and Classic would probably be getting aggressive. But as you said, for Queens, who are notoriously the slowest unit moving off creep,
right,
having such a small distance between your expansion and the Protoss expansion actually makes things pretty straightforward going for that one push. I wonder, though, had Classic not gone for as much Oracle harassment, if he banked a little bit more energy, if he would have been able to hold on, because I gotta say, if each of those energy Oracles had, say, 25 more energy on them, that might have been a hold for him. Those 3 Queens were very low on HP. The last one reinforcing got there quite late.
Yeah.
And the moment the Queens are gone, the Oracles are just gonna make quick work of all the Ravagers, a lot of the Zerglings. It really simplifies the defense there for Protoss.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I mean, it's hard to turn down taking 6 free drone kills, right?
Of course.
But you don't know the all-ins coming, but yeah, I agree with that. If those Queens fall, the whole push can suddenly fail if you don't have the anti-air. But just beautiful push out, and you don't need layer, you don't need overlord speed, anything like that to get a dropper lord. You can just walk them over. So kind of smart build there from Solar in game number 1.
All right, folks, game number 2 is loaded in, and let's continue on in this best of 5 series between Solar and Classic. On Rorschach, Classic spotting in the bottom right. It's the blue Protoss. Solar at the bottom left is the red Zerg.
Yeah, indeed. We didn't really get to see what Classic had planned that last map, obviously, as it was very aggressive out of Solar. We'll have to see what he wants to go for in the rest of this series. I'm sure he'll throw in a Glaives build at one point. I feel like all the Protoss do once you get into the best of 5 territory. This is a map you can do it on. It's quite close by air as well, so the Oracle builds are going to hit nice and hard as well. This time we see no block at the natural by the probe, so Solar will get to take his second base down here.
Just a normal expansion pattern here for Zerg in the early game. So take a quick overview of the map. Quite a few expansions with high-yield minerals. Both of the expansions very close to the main bases nested on the south side of the map have mixed mineral patches, as well as the gold base on the north side, as Mapu had observed. But I feel like it's a bit tricky for either of these players to try and take the bases in the close by air distance.
Yeah, it's very high risk, high reward, right? Like you're going to get a lot of minerals down there, but also it's pretty easy to attack. If you have air units, you're going to be able to hit that very quick. And it's harder to defend down there as well. It's quite a long walk around. So if you're taking your third base, I guess if you take the 2 front ones, maybe it's slightly easier.
Yeah, but then you've already expanded basically to the midpoint of the map if you take the 2 front bases, right?
Yeah.
I would be surprised if we saw something like that, but it would be very fun.
Yeah, I would love to see that. We have the hatchery just finishing up now. Core is on the way. We'll see what Classic's tech of choice is momentarily here. Zergling speed will be fired up in the near future as well. As this Overlord comes over to the wall, we'll see what is being made here. All looking very standard so far.
Yeah, it's a pretty quiet early game, so we're going to have to wait until the Cybernetics core is done to see what the tech of choice will be here by Classic. Based on the minerals and the gas, I'm guessing it's going to be just another Stargate. This one quite quick because there was a no scout opening here for Protoss. It was like 2:10, 2:11. The Stargate got thrown down, so 7 or 8 seconds faster than it usually is. That plus a chrono boosted adept. Looks like Classic's going to try and get a little bit of economic damage done early.
And that probe stole those minerals. He's taking them home. He's out of here. He said, thank you very much. I'll take these back home. We do see it's a Stargate follow-up here, and Solo did see the Chrono on the Adept, so he'll be aware that that is coming across the map nice and quickly. He does have his Zerglin speed on the way. Another Queen being made right now. And yeah, I think we're basically waiting to see, is it going to be an Oracle here? And then, how does Classic want to play this out?
Yeah, Oracle gets started up now by Classic, so he's going to try and find some damage with that early on here. So we're just scouting for proxies.
I like this position of the Ling. He's going to see exactly as this Oracle leaves the base.
Well, not if he runs away with it.
I was like, that's genius.
That hadn't occurred to me. It actually would have been a pretty genius move because I feel like that's the natural pathway you would want to take with the first Oracle. It's the closest expansion in the main base. You know it's going to be the most full of drones, so why not? Yeah, but I guess if you could send a Ling through the front door, you're also going to know there's an Oracle coming at you, so...
Yeah, these Adepts are across the map right now. They're shading away, so they're going to try and run in, kill a drone or two, and then shade out. One falls instantly. Just the one drone kill going down there for one Adept. I think that's a good trade for Solar.
Yeah, not too bad for Solar. The Spore Crawler actually finishing in the main base at the perfect moment as well to deal with this Oracle. Especially impressive considering this was a no-scout opening here for Classic. That Oracle considerably faster than it usually is.
What? The Probe got a kill?
I think it was the Ling in the main base.
Oh,
but there's a lot more Lings now coming to the natural. Probes have to get a couple more kills. They want to deal with this one. Already 3 workers going down. This has been an excellent early game here for Solar, and Classic just realized that is not a full wall of the natural, so he's finally going to clog that up.
Yeah, Solar's taken minimal damage here. Just the one drone to the Adept and the initial Oracle harass. Getting 3 probes of his own. I'd say he's in a very good position here. Just sharking around this third base. Going to make the Oracles turn on their beams once more. Then these Lings will get out of here. Just waste a bit of energy.
I feel like this is another Queen Walk angle, honestly. With the way this game has been going, with both players taking the forward expansions, and with Solar having such a good early game, only losing 1 drone, but trading that out in total for, what, an Adept and 3 probes on the other side of the map?
Yeah, this is an early Rotron as well. We're going to be finishing up around 450 here. Blink is the tech of choice for Classic this game. Going for that Forge as well to get the upgrades. Yeah, but with these Queens at the front, I'm starting to feel the same as you.
They're the Roaches. It's going to be a much more powerful economy behind this push as well, so a lot more reinforcement should be able to come in. Solar's been very proactive with a creep spread down in the center, using all these Queens to shoo away the Oracles and also spread those creep timbers as rapidly as possible. And will Classic be able to defend? I think he knows this is coming. He casted Revelation. He sees the Queens walking across the map. He sees no drones, or very few drones, I should say, at the third base here with the scouting Adepts. So another Oracle gets started. Shield batteries are being thrown down. But is it too late?
Wow, Classic has definitely sniffed this build out. 4 shield batteries going down right now. 1 in the natural and 3 here at the third base. So he is well aware of what Solar is trying to do. Here come the first Roaches. This one Roach is running in alone. Is just going to die by itself. But here comes the rest of them with the Queens, with the Lings. There's actually a little squadron of Lings up here trying to run into the natural.
Oh, the Adept, it's not in the perfect position. So the Zergling's going to get into the main base right now. Oracles have to deal with that. Instead of fighting on the front line, those Oracles paired up with the Stalkers might be able to take down those Queens, but right now they have to do cleanup duty in the main base, and that leaves the third woefully exposed here for Classic.
Yeah, Lings in the natural mineral line. These shield batteries starting to take a beating by the Biles on these Stalkers as well. The Oracles start to engage the Queens, but the Queens actually... I'm not sure if there's enough anti-air here. These Queens might go down. The Stalker numbers are dwindling though, so he's winning on the ground. 2 Oracles go down, only 1 remaining. 1 Queen left as well. It looks like Solar might just be doing it again with another Roach Ravager all in here.
A Classic just getting toppled once more in a game that is eerily similar to game number 1. And honestly, it feels like the stars just aligned for Solar. It's such a convincing push through into the third base this time because the early game was just so spectacular. Man, Solar came to play today.
Yeah, he is not messing around. He does not want to play any long games, just going for these mid-game timings.
It's the luckiest Oracle I've ever seen. 1 HP after
1
the Biles.
1 HP? Oh my god. It will just survive, but it does not matter. Ling's in the main as well. Everything's starting to fall here for Classic.
I mean, maybe he can stabilize, but even if you stabilize for this position, I feel like it's basically game over, right? I mean, maybe the game will go on, but Classic is effectively limping into the mid-game right now. He is half the word count of Solar, down 1 expansion. Solar now taking another base 2 to make that 4 expansions to 2. And really, all Classic has on his side of the map is, what, a couple of Oracles, a couple of Stalkers, and not much else. So you can't even really do a successful counterattack here as Classic. It just, nothing is going his way.
And this wall open once again, and Classic says that's enough.
He knows.
He's going to GG out of game 2. So Solo with 2 very aggressive timings here. One hit at 32 workers. This one was about 2 base saturation. A little bit more economy behind it, so it hits a bit later, but a bit harder. And yeah, Solo's just making it happen in the mid game here.
I think we've been live less than 20 minutes, and we're already on match point in a best-of-5 series between these two. Solar with very similar builds in game number 1 and game number 2, just absolutely pulverizing Classic twice in a row, just barreling down on the third base, taking that out, breaking into the natural expansion.
He's already on match point.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. I mean, Solar, even in game number 1, where he didn't have the best early game, he lost quite a few drones to the initial Adept and the follow-up Oracles. I think it was like 7 or 8 in total, which that's quite a few drones to lose early on. He still was able to close it out, and then game number 2, I mean, what a wallop behind that push.
Oh, it hits so hard, and like you were saying, taking no damage to the Oracles and the Adepts, just such a good defense, really sets him up for that. I kind of wondering if that was his plan coming into today, or if he saw the spawns in the first game, and then this game's also good for doing that kind of push. Or if it was an on-the-fly decision, or if he just thought, okay, first 2 games, I'm going to road Ravager Queen all in and see how it goes.
I think certainly on map number 1, if it's cross positions, you just cannot do that.
Right,
build,
it's very far, yeah.
It's definitely a nice strategy to have in your back pocket against somebody who's trying to expand greedily here. As folks, we want you to check out the YouTube and lend us some support. We actually heard from our production that there is a new feature on YouTube. This is brand new to me, so I might fumble through the explanation a little bit, but it's something called Hype. I think you can only do this on your mobile phone, on the YouTube app, but it's a way that you can interact. I think you like scroll to the right from the comment section.
Right.
You can interact with a video. I believe it's the first week that the video's been up. You can interact with it, and what it effectively does is basically what we've been asking for your help with the entire time, which is it actively boosts a video in the algorithm. And so if you want to drop by the YouTube at Revive SC2, this is one of the best ways that you can support us. If you're watching live right now, we'd also encourage you, just go there, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. It's really hard in a game that's 15 or 16 years old now at this point to start a new YouTube channel and try and grow it, because all the StarCraft 2 content creators, everything is so firmly established that it's very difficult to break in and actually get served up your videos to everybody else. So we would appreciate your support.
Yeah, indeed. Check out that new Hype feature. I believe it's only on the VODs. If you're watching this on a VOD, please go ahead and do it. I think if you're live, you have to wait for the VOD. But we just found out about this today, so you guys might even know
30 minutes ago. So
I was like, Hype the video? All right, sure. Let's try it out.
Anyway, folks, we're going to take a short break. When we get back, Classic versus Solar will continue.
What's up, guys? Tasteless here. I wanted to show you the Zerg units from the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game. As you can see, these units look exactly like what you'd see in the cinematic. You start out with a ton of Zerglings, some, like the standard ones, you'd start out the game with, others with wings, like when you get the speed upgrade. These ones are Raptor Zerglings. You get roaches in this as well. These also spawn little roachlings. What I love about this is not just the fact that the detail's there, but it's also that they took a lot of the game mechanics that you have when you're playing StarCraft and brought it into the Tabletop Miniatures game. The Queen also is able to make creep tumors. So you've got creep tumors that you're going to be spreading. You've got burrow tokens. So your units can be burrowing when you're actually playing the game. We've got Kerrigan over here. It looks like it's right out of one of the cutscenes you would see from those iconic Blizzard cinematics. My favorite out of all of them actually is going to be the Nidus. This thing is huge in comparison to the rest of the figurines. And it's cool to see that they're bringing the ability for Zerg to maneuver very quickly and spread into the game as well. As amazing as this looks, it's not just a bunch of figurines. This is actually a game. Each unit comes with a corresponding card. And on the card are the different attributes and abilities for that unit. Just like in a normal game of StarCraft, you get upgrades. This one's for the Roach. You flip the card over, you're gonna see what kind of upgrades you can unlock, and those are gonna give you different abilities that allow you to do different things with the units in the game. When a game starts, you get both minerals and Vespian gas. The units cost minerals, the tactical cards cost Vespian gas. Take a tactical card, if you flip it over, you get to see what abilities you're gonna be able to unlock and cast during the game. In order to get started, go to the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game website. There you can find the game rules, but also the army builder. From there, you pick a faction, how many minerals and Vespian gas you get. You spend those minerals in Vespian gas to unlock units and tactical cards, and from there, you're ready to go. For more information on the StarCraft tabletop miniatures game, sign up for the newsletter on Archon Studios' website. Check it out.
To have you with us. Oh, there we go. Welcome back, everybody. Good to have you with us here for this best of 5 series between Solar and Classic. Solar already leading the series 2-0, and I think a combined maybe 15 or 16 minutes between Game 1 and Game 2.
Insanely fast. I think you saw that speedrun record we had with the PvP. You remember the PvP day we had? I think it was a couple of seasons ago. It ended super fast. He said, watch this. Hold my beer. Let me show you how to really finish the day quickly, because he is just putting pedal to the metal right now and trying to end these games super quick.
And it feels like everything has been going his way.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of surprising to see games end this quickly in such a fashion, because it's not like Solar is coming through with something completely unorthodox or something out of the meta. This is a build that you see fairly often if you're practicing Protoss on the ladder.
Right.
Zergs love to pull the queens while across the map with a bunch of roaches and ravagers.
They do love to pull those queens.
There's so many games end like that. And so Classic has seen this thousands of times, certainly. But the fact that Solar's has been able to deliver so efficiently in Game 1 and Game 2, even Game 1 where he didn't have the best early game, was able to convert that into a win. Maybe partly because of it being a new map, maybe Classic not being quite as well equipped to defend on it. It's been very impressive.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm just thinking back to the last game and thinking, like, what could Classic have done more? Because we saw him get 4 shield batteries. I think the one big issue for him was his natural wall being opened so many times. It does have a big impact, even a couple lings getting in your main. It's just something else you have to worry about. And yeah, in the end, those lings got in again and again and again. Solar was able to take Game 2, but we are moving on. Solar in the bottom right is now on match point. Classic trying to fight back in this series in the top left. The map is going to be missing you today. And yeah, having to win 3 in a row is a really tall order here for Classic. He's going to have to tighten up the defenses. I feel like his scouting has been good. Like, he's known the attacks that come in. Definitely in Game 2, he knew well in advance. So I'm curious how he's going to tweak his build order if we see something similar here.
I'm not sure he will need to. I mean, maybe this will age horribly, but I'm not sure he'll need to tweak that much on this map, just because the distance from third base to third base is so much larger than it was on map number 1 and map number 2. Map number 1 partly because the spawns were vertical spawns and because Solar just happened to take the expansion closer to Classic space when he got blocked at the hatchery. But I feel like on Missing You Today, there's enough distance that Classic will get the crucial seconds he needs to actually set up a formidable defense should Solar go for the same build. So I'm not expecting to see the same kind of game here in game number 3, but I mean, who knows? If you're Solar right now and you win with that strategy in Game 1 and Game 2, it might just make sense to keep doing it until Classic shows he could defend it at least once, right?
I agree completely. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, 2 Road to Ravager Queen all-ins, they work. I mean, why not throw one in? Maybe you do it this game. Maybe you play standard this game, throw it in later in the series. You kind of have options available to you as Solar here on match point. He can play it how he wants, but I agree with what you said. If this is me, I 100% just try it again. And if it doesn't work, okay, then you mix it up. But right now, even with the scout in advance, Classic has still died to this twice. So, I mean, it looks like it has a very good chance of working if that's what he does want to go for.
Cybernetics Corp finishing now for Classic, so we'll see what the tech is going to be. Likely will be another Stargate in the main base, although we haven't seen a Glaives build yet, so it is a possibility. Will in fact be the Stargate once more, so looks to be a very similar opening here for Classic, maybe even an identical build.
Yeah, looking very similar here in the early game. Chroning out that Adept, get it across the map as fast as possible. This probe, trying to deny the third base of the Zerg for as long as possible. No drone coming over just yet. We'll have to run away so he doesn't die to this Ling. And yeah, we have a Stalker as the follow-up unit, and the Stargate will be finishing soon.
Yeah, Solar's continuing to macro up right now. Adept getting it to the Zerg side of the map. We'll see if Classic is able to find any damage with this.
Yeah, just the one Adept here right now. Gonna shade in. Check nothing crazy is coming out of the Zerg main. Sometimes they will go up on to that area that's off creep, try to kill some Lings and then shade out. Opting not to this time. He knows the Overlord is there. He has his Stalker here. So once the Oracle is finished, that will give him the high ground vision he needs to take that out.
Yeah, Adept just continuing to scout, seeing exactly what Solar's drone count is at. I don't think Solar's gone for any sort of aggressive push this early on, so not too much information that Classic can glean from these shades, but you might as well get the value, right?
Absolutely, it's a free scout, right? Why not? Okay, we now see the Overlord pushed off his perk there. The natural will be taken down by the Stalker. Gonna be as annoying as possible about it, though. Try and send it back and forth across this wall. And we haven't seen a Roach Warren yet. So I'm thinking this will not be one of these super early Roach builds.
Oh, well-positioned probe right there, actually getting body blocked. Or the Adept, I should say, was body blocking for the probe, not allowing Solar to convert those Zerglings with a catch. So Classic able to take the expansion right at the proper timing right now, and we'll be watching the production tab to see if there is a Roach Warren thrown down very soon. If not, I think we are going to have a more macro game, but it's right around this time that you would be seeing the production, the military production, really ramp up for Solar if he wanted to get aggressive. Instead, it seems like, no, there will be a 4th hatchery coming through.
Yeah, taking that 4th base, we'll probably get the Roach Warren around 440 or so if he is going to play with that, as well as his layer. Add on these extra gases, get up into that layer tech. The Oracle is sharking around. Not much damage done by the Oracles so far this game, but here come 4 Adepts. They're going to shade into this 3rd base, and there's nothing here right now except 1 Queen. 2 drones fall immediately. They will be able to shade to another base if they want to.
Yeah, Adepts doubling back right now, able to pick off a couple more drones, and this is going to create an opening right now for the Oracles. They're coming in, focus firing down the Queen at first.
Yeah, it looked good for a second there, but suddenly these Adepts are kind of caught on creep. If the Lings get us around, a few of them may fall. The Oracle's not able to do too much as the Queens are here as well.
I feel like the Oracle's got a good amount done, though. They help the Adepts at least trade more effectively with the Zerglings. In total, it's going to be 4 Adepts for, what, 5 drones and 14 Lings? I think it's a good trade right now here for Classic, especially because that was a big flood of Lings that Solar had to make to actually defend that build effectively. And you can see Classic, he's approaching this quite safely now. He's adding in a 3rd Oracle. I think he realizes that he spent just a lot of energy. He doesn't want to be in the same position that he was in Game 1 or in Game 2 where the Oracles are running out of energy and he really needs them to anchor a defense. So a nice safe play coming in from Classic, and it looks like we're going into a +1 Blink mid game.
Yeah, indeed. Blink on the way, another Oracle in production here. Hydralisk then going down as well as the Evo Chamber, so this is not the super fast +1 melee builds that we see out of Zergs. He's going to be going for this slightly quicker layer, slightly faster Hydras. We'll have to see if it's going to be the melee upgrade. Surely he's droning very hard right now. Picks off 1 probe there as it transfers over to the 3rd base. Very nice. Ling's in production right now. Solar has the 3 base economy. Going to be looking to deal with this Stalker pressure of Classic as it moves across the map.
More gas being taken now by Solar. Maybe just to continue to power up with Hydralisks here as he starts range weapons. And Classic's looking to get aggressive. He has all the Oracle energy that he needs. And the Stalker's already going to stymie 1 expansion coming in from Solar, not able to establish that hatchery at the 3 o'clock position. And until these Hydras are done, it seems like there isn't too much of an answer here for these Stalkers. Of course, with Blink, with Stasis Wards, and the Oracle support, Zerglings alone not going to be able to cut it.
Yeah, Solar needs to buy some time here to get these Hydralisks out. He knows there's going to be a stasis trap down that ramp. He actually tried to set it off with that 1 flanking Ling. Nice maneuver, but he's not able to trigger the trap, so he can't go down the ramp right now with all his Lings, or they'll just get frozen. And Solar's Classic's taking some very good trades here. Not really losing anything right now.
Yeah, not even really losing whole HP. Only 1 Stalker taking a little bit of HP damage. It's mostly just shields getting traded out. And Solar, he recognizes there's no more stasis traps, so he's actually able to get the jump on it. Zerglings continuing to close the distance. 1 Stalker's going to fall. That will be all Solar gets, though.
Yeah, and on the back of this, Classic is already going into Storm, adding in his High Templar, getting his 4th base, so he's not super committed to this Stalker pressure. He is going into charge and a Robo as well. He's filling out his tech here, getting his splash damage to deal with any...
A bit of a painful moment. Oracle and a Stalker going down right there. And Zerglings, oh, they really wanted to get this around on the Templar. They're going to go for it, too. Even if they can force an Archon to warp in, that would be a win. Oh, that Templar
just barely survived.
If they didn't have the water balloons, that Templar might have gone down.
Yeah, I feel like the Stalkers have kind of played their part here. Might be time to go home soon, as all these Hydralisks will come out of the stasis soon.
Sick move by Solar, by the way. Transfused the Hydra that the Stalkers were trying to focus fire down, and they couldn't get the kill on it.
So
Tank
sick.
like 2 or 3 volleys.
And we have a ton of drop overlords being made right now, State, down here below the natural of Classic.
Yeah, Solar's really going to be committing to this timing attack, wants to get some damage done. And this is just going to be with pure Hydra Ling. So I'm a little bit concerned right now for Solar because his army is not going to have very much HP at all. And these are +1 Zealots. They're going to two-shot all the Lings. And we have Storms on top of that to deal with the Lings and the Hydralisks. So for Solar, if he wants to win with the army that he has, he needs to take engagements in many different locations at once to mitigate Classic's AoE damage with his Storms. And so we have a drop now coming into the natural expansion while Solar is simultaneously attacking the 4th base at 12 o'clock. He needs to split up the Protoss army.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job so far. All these probes running around, still hitting this 4th base. Nice Storm goes down on these Hydralisks. Maybe not quite enough damage. Solar working around that, and so many Zerg units in the main. The Templar Archives go down, so no more HTs can be warped in here. All these Storms go down on the Zerg units, but the 4th base, there's actually a very nice stasis ward here, but I don't think there's enough Protoss units to hold that base anymore.
Yeah, Solar is just everywhere right now. Classic's army is finally here in the main base to clean this up. Hydras will get traded out, but that created an opening for Solar to get so much economic damage done here at the 4th base. And Nexus is going to go down. Classic, he lost the Templar Archives in the main base behind all of this. And Solar, with a very glass cannon army, which on paper in a head-to-head engagement with what Classic has got, is going to lose 10 times out of 10, is able to make the battle so scrappy that he can pull out the 4th base, take out the Templar Archives, and now Classic's going to try and get some jabs in on his own.
I love what Solar did, though. He sent all those drop overlords through the main to the 4th base of the Protoss, picked up the army that was there, and sent them back into the main. Absolute genius move, picking off a ton more probes here, transitioning into lurkers as well as the infestation pit for Hive. Classic in a lot of trouble right now, just a few Stalkers here to deal with all these Hydralisks.
It's like watching a Wings of Liberty TVP with dropships just absolutely everywhere. Classic just cannot get a handle on the defense. The main Nexus going down. There's one Hydralisk dropped to the natural expansion of Classic 2.
Dude, I thought he was dancing his units then. Yeah, there's just so much Zerg here. Classic forced to GG out, and Solar takes a quick 3-0 over Classic like that.
That was such an impressive win by Solar. And map number 1 and map number 2, just being able to pull the trigger and go for the throat with the Roach Ravager Queen Walk. And then in game number 3, playing a very different style of Zerg. And one that I feel like we don't see very often. If you're going to see Hydra Ling, it's almost always with Banelings. Right. And usually, I mean, in most situations, you're going to try and go where you're attacking like the natural expansion and the 4th base at the same time. But it's more focused on one engagement, winning the main battle. But the way that Solar approached that, dropping in the natural expansion, dropping in the main base multiple times, hitting the 4th and 3rd base simultaneously. Classic, he had all of the answers. He had Storm, he had Zealots that can two-shot the Zerglings, and a ton of Zealots. He had Archons, he had Stalkers. His army was better. But Solar just positioned everything so perfectly that Classic couldn't take the winning fights.
Yeah, so difficult to split that Protoss army up into, 3 pieces perfectly to deal with those threats. And I really love what Solar did with the Overlord, like dropping the units in the natural, sending them all the way around through the main to the 4th base, picking up the Zerg forces there, sending those back into the main. Very difficult to deal with as Classic, as he was trying to do a counterpunch almost. He was moving out on the map to pick off some stray units. And behind that, Solar had a lurker transition coming as well, just looking super strong today.
Just a perfectly played series by Solar. He's going to be advancing on to the next round of the upper bracket. Classic, he's not out of the RSL just yet. He falls to the lower bracket, so he has 1 life remaining. And folks, we would love you to go check out TastelessThreads.com. Check out some of the RSL merchandise we've got there. There's stickers, hoodies, shirts, everything you need, although maybe not a hoodie right now this time of year. It's getting kind of warm, especially out here in Korea.
Definitely do not need a hoodie here. It is warming up in Seoul. It's very nice weather, actually. I know you like to ride your bike around. This is the perfect season for it right now, I feel like.
Yeah, it's the perfect season to go outdoors and touch grass. And that is why we have GSL and RSL happening at the same time, so we can actually do it. It's a blessing and a curse. Yeah. Anyway, folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, the second series of the day, it's going to be herO versus SHIN. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you soon.
What's up, everybody? Tasteless and Ziggy here. We are finally ready to paint our first StarCraft figurine here. We've got Zeratul. I have no artistic ability, and Ziggy doesn't either, but he's got a little bit more than me, so we're going to have him actually paint the figurine. Ziggy, tell us what we got here.
Dude, we've got the Zeratul miniature, the very first one that we got sent by Arkan Studio from the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game.
I gotta say, it's crazy. We have the primer on Zeratul right now. and that's going to allow the paint to stick on here. We've got, how many different colors are we going to use?
Oh, I got a bunch. I got some purples, got some greens. I'm gonna try and paint him sort of like he's on the box art. We're gonna start with the airbrush, put some purple on him just as a base, and then work from there with the brushes and yeah, see what happens.
Let's do it.
Let's do it?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. I'm checking in on Ziggy's progress again. How are we doing?
We're doing great. I think it's come along better than I thought it would. I don't know what you think, but I'm kind of proud of this.
It looks good.
Yeah.
I love what you did with the lighting here on the cape and everything. I think you did an incredible job. We're near completion here. Also, Archon Studios sent us some miniatures of their own they painted. If you want to see what their models look like, take a look. Hey guys, Tasteless here. I wanted to show you our Terran set for the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game. You can see we've got all the pieces assembled here. It comes with 12 Marines, 3 Medics, 2 Marauders, 1 Sentry Drone, and then the final piece is Jim Raynor here. Each Marine in the set has a unique loadout. Over here, you have the Raynor's Raiders version of the Marines. Each one with a rifle and a bayonet attached. But honestly, these look incredible. The amount of detail is insane. Like we've said before, these look exactly like what you see in the cinematics for StarCraft 2. Now it's important to remember, as amazing as this looks, this is more than just a bunch of cool figurines. This is actually a game. Each figurine comes with a corresponding card. So this is Jim Raynor, and you can see on the card his different attributes listed, what he's able to do, and this is what you'd be using when you're actually playing against your friends. So just like in the game, you're able to get different upgrades for each of the units. So for the Marine, if you flip the card around, you can see you can go for combat shields, grenades, or other various upgrades, which are gonna change the whole experience of what you're having when you're playing the game. When a game starts, you get minerals and Vespian gas. The units cost minerals, the tactical cards cost Vespian gas. Take a tactical card, flip it over, you'll see exactly what abilities that tactical card gives you. In order to get started, go to the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game website. There you can find the game rules, but also the army builder. From there, you pick a faction, how many minerals and Vespian gas you get. You spend those minerals and Vespian gas to unlock units and tactical cards. And from there, you're ready to go. For more information, sign up for the newsletter on Archon Studios' StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game website. Check it out.
Welcome back, everybody. We are getting ready to jump into our second best of 5 of the day, and it has been about 40 minutes in total, Sturgeon. Classic versus Solar was over so quickly, and now it's herO versus SHIN. 2 players who I feel like are even more aggressive.
Definitely herO is more aggressive. Yeah, I mean, this could go the same way, but I think herO's going to mix it up, make SHIN play some different games, and I think SHIN does like some slightly longer games as well. I think he likes his Ultralisks. I would love to see that build come out a few times. But yeah, what a wild first series of the day, man.
It did not go the way that I expected it to, and that's not to say that I didn't think Solar would be able to take down Classic. Absolutely he can. Solar's one of the best Zerg players in the world, but I thought it was going to go 3-1, 3-2.
I thought Classic was going to win before the set started. What a series.
The Zergs, man, they've been getting pretty good. They've been mixing in all these builds, and I feel like part of it also, especially here in the RSL, is they're finding ways to get aggressive on the new maps, which Protoss players just don't have Maybe they don't have the experience because these aren't some of the maps that are on the ladder. They just haven't played every single variation or enough variations of all these different aggressive builds to know the best defensive setup.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, as you get a new map, I feel like aggressive builds are the strongest at the beginning.
Yes.
And then the more and more you play the map, the stronger playing defense becomes a macro as you, like you say, learn to defend every single push, put your buildings in all the right places, know all the little choke points. All these little details.
It's the same with patches. I feel like we don't get too many patches that often in StarCraft 2 anymore, but back in the day when we would get a ton of patches throughout a year, it felt like it was typically Protoss players who would be the most advantaged from patches because they were the most aggressive. But these days in ZVP, it feels like you got to be a lot more aggressive as Zerg in the early and mid game to get damage done.
Yeah, indeed. And basically all the Zergs are throwing in some kind of all-ins in their series these days, at least 1 or 2 aggressive builds. Gone are the days where they just try to macro to 80, 90 drones and go for Lurker, Viper, that kind of stuff. It feels like the meta has changed, basically. Zerg is playing a lot more aggressive. The map here will be Exarch, and this time we have cross spawns.
Yeah, cross spawns on Exarch. It's going to be tough to get aggressive early on this one unless you're Protoss and you have the advantage of Warp Gate, right? It's a very...
That mechanic, yeah.
I mean, just look at the distance between the natural expansion of both of these players. It is absolutely massive.
Yeah, it is huge. And can we look at the middle of the map? Because there's these speed zones here as well. There's 2 fast speeds. Oh, no. There's 3 fast speed zones and then 4 slow ones as well. So I guess you have to path through the right way to make sure your units speed up there. Very interesting map layout. Of course, with the watchtower in the middle here. And the beautiful RSL logo.
Yeah, also on the perimeter of the map, you see on every single edge, there's also some speed zones to make air travel a little bit quicker.
Yeah, we do have the Nexus going down here for herO. SHIN going to go for his hatch into pool. And yeah, got his gas going as well.
It's a very interesting map architecture, and this is one of my favorite things about 4-player maps is that depending on the spawns, you can get totally different games. I feel like there is not a chance that we're going to see something like what we saw between Classic and Solar, where Solar expanded unknowingly towards the Protoss base and capitalized on that by playing a very aggressive build with the Queen Walk. On this map, the distances now with a cross spawn are just too great, and so we're likely to get a much more drawn-out, epic macro game than we are to get something super flashy like that.
I totally agree with you, and I think herO is the kind of player who would just refuse to lose to 3 all-ins without trying something crazy of his own. But right now, we have a lot of lings being made here, as well as the ling speed on the way. He's just on 21 drones right now, getting ready for these adepts with the lings. Goes back into drones now, taking that worker path down here to the 3rd base.
Can we get a shot of herO's natural expansion? Because I think he might have fully walled in his natural. I think that is I believe that's a 100% wall-in. I don't think you can get units in or out of the main base, which is pretty smart. If you're just going to be expanding to either the 3rd base locations, you mine that out, and then you only have 1 entrance
this
into your base.
Might buff herO's plays so much.
Yeah, now he knows how to
need
wall.
A real wall. You just have to worry about a unit being there.
It's like, wait, I could just fully plug this with two buildings. Oh, this is perfect. And my workers can still transfer down to my expansion. Oh, it's great.
That's so funny.
Any other map, those 4 Zerglings, they're in herO's main base mineral line right now.
And then you can break the rocks later on to get out, right? If you have big units in the natural there.
I think you would just mine out the minerals. I don't see any reason why you would break down the debris here at the natural expansion. I mean, maybe if you're expanding towards the middle, but even then, I feel like it's always better to just have one clear pathway through your main base into the center of the map, right?
Yeah, there's also those minerals leading to the 4th base just above herO's main. So I guess if you mine out both those patches, yeah, you're right. There's really no need to take down the rocks at the natural at all. You just open up another venue of attack for the Zerg, right?
All right, well, here's going to go for a very aggressively timed 3rd base over here. There is a Void Ray out on the map, so he should have some sustain. Push these Zerglings away. Does lose the probe and the adept, but it's a worthy sacrifice to get the 3rd Nexus up this quickly, I think.
Yeah, indeed. Nice little start here for herO. And maybe watch the previous series like, hey, maybe I want to, a Void Ray to just help deal with any kind of attacks coming out from the Zerg. Right now we do see it's a very early Evo chamber, which lends itself to a +1 melee build coming out of SHIN, making a lot of lings right now. Going to be trying to move these across the map, see if he can pick off any units. And he's got his Spore Crawlers decently timed here as well. They will be ready for the first Oracle as it flies in. Obviously a bit later because he went for the Void Ray first, so not expecting to get too much damage done with this first Oracle, I think. Probably going to wait for the second one as he goes into Twilight and Forge.
Shin going for a fast +1 melee attack in this game, so likely going to be a Ling-focused style here from our Zerg player, which makes sense on a map as large as this one. Oh, already some Zerglings getting some pressure done too.
Yeah, he's made a lot more Lings than usual. Going to use that to take out this pylon, get the Adept. Will be forced to run home as the Oracle turns on its beam though. But he is droning behind this. This is not all or anything. This is just some pressure as this third base goes up.
Yeah, and now I'm curious what kind of game herO is going to try and play on these 3 bases, because if herO were to expand to the top right side of where he's currently set up, it's hard to describe the expansion patterns on this one, because even if they go by like I know it's not, none of the bases at the north side are at 12 o'clock, but it's like, what would you say, like it's like 12:30, it's like 1, it's like it's such a large map that everything just kind of gets congested there at the edges. But if herO expands on this pathway here towards this side, I feel like he could be really well set up for a macro game if he wants to go that way. I mean, this is such an easy base to take. You just get a little bit of snag defense at your third base, get a little bit of snag defense at the fourth base, and you have the 1 rally point from the natural expansion for any robotics units or Stargate units.
Yeah, I agree with that. And here come the Oracles once again. Going to pick off 3 drones, or 4 drones this time. Some nice harassment done as he does go into Blink, getting his +1 as well, adding a few more gateways here. And this is a ton of Lings running in right now. There is a Void Ray, but this Stalker's going to fall almost immediately. The probes might have to fight here. The shield battery finishes just in time. Very good micro on the probes. Oh, no!
Oh, you're kidding me. The Adeptus was not positioned.
Even when you give him the free wall of the natural, he finds a way to let these Lings in.
I mean, I feel like herO's blameless on this one, though. we got the zoom in there of the Zerglings. It's kind of unintuitive when like the hitbox, or the collision box, I should say, with like the Adept body and then the worker only path. Because visually, at least to me, maybe I just haven't seen these enough, it felt like the Adept should be blocking, but the Zerglings can still work their way through.
Kind of big.
Yeah, maybe. I guess you just throw down like a pylon or something and make it a more reasonable block with a mineral wall, but...
Yeah, but overall, herO didn't lose too much there, and that was a lot of Lings.
It was good for him, actually. I think led him to the main base.
It's so funny the way that works with herO. The Lings get in, but he always ends up coming out ahead somehow.
So Oracle barely surviving. Phoenix getting started by herO, by the way. I think that he is expecting Shin to follow this up with mutas just because he's seen all of the minerals being spent by Shin on Zerglings. And he's also scouted quite a few gases. You've seen the gas at the natural expansion. You saw the gases here at this expansion as that Oracle almost got soloed by a Spore Crawler. Don't see that every day. And I think he's expecting mutas, but it's actually a Hydralisk transition coming in here for Shin. So the one Phoenix might not be able to get too much done. Maybe will be best served by him patrolling, just using it to scout for potential drop overlords. But in any case, second Stargate and Fleet Beacon now coming in for herO.
Yeah, got that Fleet Beacon before the storm there. Not sure if that's just to go for Phoenix range if it weren't mutas, or if he's going to be looking to make an air transition slightly quicker. I feel like it's the former, but we'll have to see. One Adept here going to get picked off by these Lings. Still running around, and herO has a lot of army out on the map, actually. All these Stalkers are going to blink over these rocks.
Oh, no. That's not a very good blink right now for herO. It's still on cooldown. A couple of seconds left. Shin, just with the magic positioning there, had all of his Hydralisks at the fourth base. And herO blinked in thinking he was going to catch Shin by surprise. Instead, loses a ton of Stalkers.
Yeah, that was kind of strange that all the Hydras are there. And oh my god, we have a Nidus on the way, State. Shin going to be looking to get aggressive once his army reaches almost maxed out. These Stalkers will get caught. They blink away though. Some Lings getting caught by the stasis trap. I feel like these Stalkers have to survive if he wants to, you know, live through this Nidus attack. But here come the Zealots to help out.
I see the Overlord on the mini-map right now. Getting closer to the main natural expansion here of herO, although I'm looking at this and it would make sense. Oh, look at that storm. Oh, so many Zerglings taking a ton of damage. I think Shin's going to go for the Nidus in the main base, but this map is so large, I wouldn't even mind him just dropping a Nidus here on the front door to try and make the reinforcements a little bit quicker.
Oh, was that no cancel on the fourth? On the fourth area, it actually died, so 400 minerals down the drain there. Here comes the Nidus in the main, and herO's out on the map for some reason.
herO knows he's moving units to the main base right now to try and deal with this while sending a ton of Zealots to Shin's side. And so he will be able to deal with the Nidus network. Only a couple of Lings getting out right now. Instead, the defense is going to be all about the natural expansion and the third base as the Lings and Hydralisk flooding into the Protoss base.
Yeah, they bust down the door. They're getting in here. Storm's landing on a lot of Zerg units right now. That one kind of whiffs there. They're forced to throw down more. The High Templars going to be forced to morph into Archons here as all these Stalkers are going down. But those Zealots are doing work across the map. 10 drones fall already. There's absolute chaos right now.
Yeah, a lot of damage being done on both sides. Mineral line gets evacuated by SHIN at the 4th base. herO still trying to stabilize the main base. Actually, SHIN getting a snipe on the Templar Archive, so no more Templar, no more Archons can be warped in here for herO. It's mostly going to be Zealots on the reinforcements.
Yeah, herO knocked down to 2 bases right now, so even though the work count is equal, SHIN should be out mining him here shortly. But he's going to lose a bunch of these Hydras on the retreat. Nice pickoffs by herO. And I like that choice to send the Zealots. At first I was like, oh, you need everything at home to defend.
Oh no, the Nidus network here got set up in the main base. herO did not expect this one, but I think that the army for SHIN is thinned out enough that he can't really capitalize on this.
Yeah, he's forced to return into that Nidus and go home. Another entrance dies there, and we have a mothership coming out. So SHIN will need some detection with the next attack.
And I wonder if hero's going to take, okay, he is going to re-expand a natural expansion. I was half expecting him to just push across the map with the mothership right now because he just saw SHIN. If there's a Nidus network in the main base and Zerg has that much time, every army unit that they have is going to be going into the Nidus network. So herO should have a very good idea of exactly where SHIN's army is at. And herO should know that in a head-on engagement, his army just straight up wins.
Right.
So right now, he's going to be waiting for Templar Archives to get up. I feel like you get to the first round of Templar Warpin, maybe you turn some into Archons, energy recharge the other ones, and you move across the map. You have a very clear window as herO to try and get some damage done.
Yeah, there are some Zerg units hanging out down here trying to take out these rocks. herO does actually not have vision of those, so he can't see them dying. If he moves out and all those units run in, that could be a good counterattack. +2 melee on the way here for SHIN. He has droned back up to 68, so his economy is looking a lot healthier than it was just now. And I think the scary thing here is the air units coming out for herO, right? He's getting these Tempests, he had this mothership. But I also feel like it's difficult to push across the map with these units.
Yeah, I feel like if you move across the map, you don't really get that many chances to go back home and defend. Maybe just a recall only, as SHIN is continuing to work on the rocks here. 6 o'clock position. A lot of Banelings. We do have enough photon cannons, I think, to deal with most of this, but if the Lings come in with the Banelings, it'll be tough for those probes to get away in time.
He's going to set up a 2-pronged attack here, hitting this.
There's too many cannons.
Too many cannons. Very fast pull on the probes as well. Good reflexes there by herO. Saves his workers mostly, only 5 going down. And here comes the rest of the Zerg army. You do not want to run through that storm.
It's like something you'd see in like a tower defense game. It's
when you're level 100.
It's the perfect choke point to storm right there as herO. I mean, we basically just had Templar at the top of this ramp with 1 photon cannon, and SHIN sees it's like, no, I don't want to push up into that.
He's thinking about it, but with these storms, he doesn't want to. Does create diversion for these Banelings to go in, though. 8 more workers fall. herO's down to 49 probes right now versus the 78 of SHIN. He's adding his Spire here. He's getting his Infestation Pit. Eventually, he can make Corruptors to deal with the air units if he wants to. And going to go for Overlord speed as well.
SHIN just continuing to poke and prod at this natural expansion. Trying to get a snipe maybe on one of these Tempests, but again, it's just such a tough ramp to push up as Zerg.
But I mean, rinse and repeat here. He keeps sending these Banelings in, right?
Well, the thing is that, you know, here, I know he's making more probes right now, and he's on 47, but 47, I think, is enough to fully saturate everything that he's got. The main and the natural expansion are mostly mined out. herO, he's bottlenecked on bases. It's not really the workers that are the limiting factor right now for him.
Yeah, indeed. He is going to move out into the middle of the map right now. The Zerg army is here to greet him, though.
Oh my goodness, look at this. This army's mostly Templar. SHIN's going to try and get on top of this, so a ton of storms are going to rain down. And SHIN has to go away. What a bizarre-looking Protoss army. I think we have more Templar than Zealots here on the front line.
It looks so fragile, but it's difficult to attack through those storms.
There's just so much energy, right?
Right. He's been banking up so much energy. A lot of storms here available. I think that's the the mothership is online. Here come these Tempests now. And we only have 5 Corruptors out at the moment. 7 now. Is that enough to take on all these air units? I'm not sure.
It's all going to come down to the storms right now. herO has to make every single storm count. Cloak is going to come in, prevent these Corruptors from getting the Dream engagement. Although it seems like some of the Templates are nowhere to be found right now. 3 of them under the mothership, more reinforcing. And now SHIN, he's going to move in once more, but the natural kind of makes its own choke points here with the Vespian Geysers. It's very tough for SHIN to find the right angle. The Hydras are just getting vaporized.
There's High Templar remaining, and apparently that's all you need here with the air units. The Zerg units just can't engage on all these fragile High Templar. Eventually he's going to pull the trigger, and they will be all forced to morph. Look how many storms are on the screen right now, State. This is absolutely insane.
That was so much energy spent on Storm, and at the end of it, there just is not enough anti-air for SHIN to clean it up. What a bizarre end to that game.
How did herO win that game?
That was one of the funniest looking Protoss armies I think I've ever seen. We had, when he was pushing across the map, there were more Templar and more Tempest than Zealots in that main army, and that was the whole composition. It was Templar, Tempest, Zealot with a mothership. And you can see SHIN try to go for the engagements, but in the center of that map, it's a little bit tricky because of the speed zones and the slow zones. It makes it kind of hard for you to position your army perfectly to actually collapse at the same time and get the surround that you want. And herO had those Templar up for, it felt like so long.
Yeah.
There were so many storms on each individual Templar that with a pure Hydra Link composition, there just wasn't enough HP. It's a glass army composition. We saw this earlier on between Classic and Solar. Solar was able to make it work in that series versus Classic because he was able to split up the army of the Protoss opponent and take all these little tiny engagements where his army is going to excel at. But in this situation, when herO is able to push across the map and be the aggressor, you have to collapse on him as SHIN. And there were just so many storms available and not enough surface area for the Hydras and Links to get this around. What a wonky game.
Absolutely wild. I was kind of wondering if it might be good for SHIN to go for a counterattack, just because it's so hard to attack into all those storms. And then maybe you can like roll some Banes into them if, you know, the Protoss isn't looking as the base race is going on. Because there were just so many High Templar there, protected by the air units, the mothership. And you want to get your Hydras, you know, killing the air units, right? And your Corruptors as well. But so many zone-in storms, it's just very hard to engage onto. Maybe some of the forces counterattacking, some of them holding the line. Could have worked out better, but herO picked his moment perfectly there. Like you say, it was a very wonky army and an interesting timing on that move out. But herO knows how to win these games when things get a bit weird.
Yeah, game 2 loading up now here on Rorschach. herO spawning the bottom right, SHIN in the bottom left. You know, I think back to the Storm change in the most recent patch in StarCraft 2, where Storm, it now does lower DPS, but more damage in total because the duration has been increased. And it actually makes a composition like that one a lot more viable. Because if this was the old Storm, sure, it would be a lot better. Head-on engagement, the moment the storms fly, you're going to get more damage done in the first couple of ticks of the Storm. But when you're running a composition like herO was, which isn't very often, we very rarely see games that are shaped quite like that. But when you're running a composition that's mostly Templar with just enough Zealots to be kind of a frontline wall, and then you have Tempest behind, which are just doing whatever Tempests do, the Storm lasting as long as it does actually makes things a lot better for herO, because suddenly, as you said, as a zoning tool, it is so much more effective than it ever was before.
Yeah, the Tempests were kind of uncontested, but they take a long time to kill a lot of stuff, and the Storms actually buy you that time, so they kind of synergize very well there. It was a wonky comp, but herO made it work really well.
Yeah, we're not going to get another game that looks like that today, I think. Certainly not between herO and SHIN. So we move on to Rorschach. This was the map where, you know, Solar versus Classic earlier on today went for a really aggressive build. He took the forward third expansion here as Zerg pulled the Queens, pushed with Roaches, Ravagers, and reinforcing Lings. And Rorschach feels like one of the best maps to play that style on.
Yeah, indeed. It's pretty close. Like you say, if you take the forward expansion, you can get there very quick, especially if you start laying tumors down there as soon as you have the Queens available to do so. You can even get away without having to go for that drop Overlord. You can just walk them over the map, hit, you know, a little bit harder as you need less eco. This one drone actually idle down here.
It's a worker strike. Uh-oh.
The condition. This guy
there
comes. That's
buddy
his boss.
system.
That's his boss to get back to work.
All right, herO going for the Stargate here in game number 2. Similar openings to what we had in game number 1.
Yeah, I'm curious if he'll add that Void Ray in first, or if he'll go back into an Oracle play. As the Adept's being chronoed out here to be sent across the map.
I think it's likely to be an Oracle. Thinking back to map number 1 on Exarch, I think just because of the size of the map, the window for an Oracle to actually get economic damage done is probably very small. You're more likely to find damage once you pair it up with one more Oracle and you actually two-shot drones that are either transferring to bases or perhaps mining gas, perhaps just at the edge of range of a Spore Crawler. And so to go for a Void Ray first and just be like, oh, well, this is constant damage as opposed to the energy-based damage of the Oracle I can use this to just safely establish a third base. I think it's a smart adjustment, but yeah, here on Rorschach, it will in fact be the Oracle coming in for herO. Is SHIN able to pick up at least one probe kill?
Yeah, you called it. Oracle is on the way. These two Lings getting one drone, and we'll get in to see the timing on this Oracle as it comes out. Very nice scout here. This time there's no full wall at the natural, so you can get these Lings in. They will go down, of course, but I think they've paid for themselves. Oh, if they got one more drone, that would have been huge.
Yeah, probe barely surviving. herO continuing to pump Oracles. Likely we'll have a third base being thrown down by herO in just a moment. And SHIN's just continuing to drone up. He's not going for the aggressive expansion, the one that we see here, that the Oracle is flying by. Instead, he's expanding linearly across the left side of the map. So that makes me think that it's not going to be one of these early pushes that we saw from Solar earlier on today. Likely to be a bit more of a macro-focused style here by SHIN.
Yeah, indeed. Here we go. We see the Lings actually sending the Adepts home as they were on that healing pod. This one Adept will not shade into the Queens. Oracle flying around making sure there's no units of the Zerg healing up here. Join up with his buddy. And third base on the way here for herO. Going into the Twilight Council.
It's a funny looking wall.
That's what we've come to expect at this point, right?
Why can't you be normal? All right.
I know Gemini is probably... Oh, hang on a minute. Forget that.
Trading out for an Oracle, though, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, the Oracle actually goes down there. 3 drones, but... I mean, these Oracles have such utility throughout the whole game. You know, the stasis traps as you push, revelations and scouting later on if there's lurkers or something like that. It's actually going to be Glaives here.
Yeah, Glaives build coming in from herO with a fast forge too. Usually you don't see these two structures paired up together, I feel like, because, you know, Glaives, they don't really care about +1 ground weapons. They're going to be two-shotting most targets regardless, the Zerglings and the drones. Huh. I wonder if it could be something like a Glaives into Charge Archon angle, because you have a fast +1 ground weapons with that. I guess they're both countered by Banelings. It wouldn't make too much sense.
Yeah, interesting choice here. We do see this very top left base being taken as well. For SHIN, going to just expand, like you said, in a complete line up the left side of this map. Does not want to expand towards the Protoss. He's adding his own Evo chamber right now. Layer about halfway done. And there's actually some Lings over here at the third base. There's a couple of Adepts here behind the minerals and the pylon there, forming a nice choke there. Is that enough to think it's a Glaive build if you see 4 Adepts? Probably not. You probably need to see a couple more, but...
I feel like it is. You know, you have the first couple of Adepts to get map presence, to get a little scouting damage done, or scouting done, maybe get a little bit of damage, but then you see 4 Adepts at third base. It's like, okay, you've been making more Adepts. Something is certainly coming. So SHIN knows this is it on the way. Wallen with Evolution Chambers here to natural expansion, and herO's just going to pounce right on top of this, and I don't know if there's enough Zerg to actually deal with this right now. The Zerglings have already dissipated. Now it's Adepts versus Queens. There's nearly enough for them to two-shot these Queens right now as more reinforcing Lings are going to come through. SHIN is scrambling to set up the wall once more, but with the Baneling Nest not yet done, there isn't much of an answer here for these Adepts.
Yeah, the Ling's going to try and run back. Right now he hasn't taken much worker damage, but here they do shade into the mineral line. All the Lings starting to fall. Some Banelings being morphed right in his face here. He's going to shade on through to the natural, but these trades just feel so good for herO right now. There is a full wall here, so they'll get stuck in this corner, join up with these other 4 Adepts as they come in, but the Lings can't get out as well as the Adepts not being able to get in.
Yeah, there still aren't enough Lings on the outside of this wall, so it's really a difficult position right now for SHIN as another shade coming through. And finally, herO connecting with some drone damage. Already the trade has been so favorable for herO. And if that shade finishes before these Banelings connect, this is spiraling out of control.
Yeah, the Adepts get into the main, and that's going to be it. SHIN said, I've seen enough. 11 drones falling already, and that build hit very hard. Got so much eco damage done, and I like unupgraded Zerglings just cannot deal with these Adepts.
Yeah, certainly not when the Adepts are in that number. It felt like herO had so many more than I even expected. We saw a shot of the 4 Adepts there at the third base, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty mild sum. He's probably going to warp in 1 or 2 more rounds and then go. And then it was like 20 Adepts moving across the map. Right. I guess he was banking them in the natural expansion. Yeah, not enough Lings. It almost feels like there's no number of Lings that's going to be able to deal with that.
Yeah, you need so many. I mean, +1 melee helps, but I don't even think you can get that by that point. So Yeah, roaches would fare better. Banelings, he did have the Bane Nest on the way, but the Banes weren't quite ready in time. If he had some of those and you shade in on a ton of Banes, that can suddenly swing it. But herO just took amazing fights, all killed a bunch of drones, and SHIN says that's enough.
Yeah, pretty clean win there by herO as he's up 2-0 on the series. And folks, if you're enjoying the content, we invite you to go to patreon.com/ReviveSC2 if you haven't already and join our growing community. There's all sorts of perks available for you, and even if you don't have any money to give, you can also really just follow for free. You get news on the RSL, find out when the new seasons are coming up, find out what the map results are going to be. And if you decide to contribute, you can vote on maps. That's one of the reasons why we have all these really cool maps that are added every single season. You can vote on the players that are invited every season. You can get the replay packs. I love replay packs, Sturgeon.
I love replay packs so much. I steal all the builds, man. All those
people are spoiled.
Filthy Zerglings. I'm writing them all down on my little notepad.
I remember in 2010 watching on GOM TV in like 144p, trying to watch the production tab when the pre-production would have the production tab up and write the build down. It's terrible.
It's so rough.
Replays, I mean, this is a golden era if you're trying to learn StarCraft 2. It's awesome. Anyway, folks, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, this series between herO and SHIN will continue.
What's up, guys? Tasteless here. I am going to be showing you the StarCraft tabletop miniatures game again, and this time we're going to be unboxing it. So let's get started. This thing is massive. All right. Oh my God. Okay. So much is in here. This is crazy. I believe these are crystals from the ground, as well as some kind of shots, I think, from Terran Marines here. These are little crosses here for the medics. Some plating here, it looks like, for Marines and Marauders. And then we go into all purple here, and I assume all these purple ones are different build outs for different Zerg units. I think each one is a Zergling here. This has got to be the Queen? No, this could be Sarah Kerrigan. Okay, so now these are all the Terran parts, and you can see just how much detail goes into each little piece. Like, they keep it really true to Blizzard artwork for how the game looks. It looks basically identical to what you see in the cutscenes and in the cinematics. A lot of love went into this. So this terrain is actually supposed to be from Lost Temple. So if you played any of StarCraft 1 or 2 from the early days, Lost Temple was kind of the map. This is what it comes with. This is the tile set. This is Lost Temple, the map. So it comes with a die here, the playing cards that allow you to play the game. Ruler, so you can measure how many spaces a unit can move or the distance it can attack at. The markers that you would use when you're actually playing the game to catalog events that are happening in various turns. It does come with the StarCraft tabletop miniatures game booklet, which is basically going to be an instruction manual. And last, but certainly not least, rules and references here. So this is everything. All of this comes with the StarCraft tabletop miniatures game 2-player starter set. It is honestly way more than I even expected. I knew when I looked at the figurines on the back there was going to be a lot in here, but it's crazy. So if you buy this, you're going to have a lot of work ahead of you, a lot of fun, a lot of assembling, a lot of painting, and then obviously a lot of games to play. Coming up next, we are going to start our first miniatures painting. What's up, guys? Tasteless here. I wanted to show you the Zerg units from the StarCraft tabletop miniatures game. As you can see, these units look exactly like what you'd see in the cinematic. You start out with a ton of Zerglings, some, like the standard ones, you'd start out the game with, others with wings, like when you get the speed upgrade. These ones are Raptor Zerglings. You get roaches in this as well. These also spawn little roachlings. What I love about this is not just the fact that the detail's there, but it's also that they took a lot of the game mechanics that you have when you're playing StarCraft and brought it into the tabletop miniatures game. The Queen also is able to make creep tumors. So you've got creep tumors that you're going to be spreading. You've got burrow tokens. So your units can be burrowing when you're actually playing the game. We've got Kerrigan over here. It looks like it's right out of one of the cutscenes you would see from those iconic Blizzard cinematics. My favorite out of all of them actually is going to be the Nidus. This thing is huge in comparison to the rest of the figurines. And it's cool to see that they're bringing the ability for Zerg to maneuver very quickly and spread into the game as well. As amazing as this looks, it's not just a bunch of figurines. This is actually a game. Each unit comes with a corresponding card. and on the card are the different attributes and abilities for that unit. Just like in a normal game of StarCraft, you get upgrades. This one's for the Roach. You flip the card over, you're gonna see what kind of upgrades you can unlock, and those are gonna give you different abilities that allow you to do different things with the units in the game. When a game starts, you get both minerals and Vespian gas. The units cost minerals, the tactical cards cost Vespian gas. Take a tactical card, if you flip it over, you get to see what abilities you're gonna be able to unlock and cast during the game. In order to get started, go to the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game website. There you can find the game rules, but also the army builder. From there, you pick a faction, how many minerals and Vespian gas you get. You spend those minerals and Vespian gas to unlock units and tactical cards. And from there, you're ready to go. For more information on the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game, sign up for the newsletter on Archon Studios' website. Check it out.
Welcome back, everybody, to the RSL. We are continuing on with herO versus SHIN, and so far, Sturgeon, it's been a pretty one-sided day. We had a 3-0 to kick things off, and now it's 2-0 in the advantage of herO. I really hope we get a game 4 and 5.
Yeah, herO on match point. I would love to see a long series here, see SHIN start to fight back. I think he's definitely capable of doing so, but herO just needs one more to close this out and move on to the round of 4.
Yeah, and herO's been looking so good, too, both in game 1, where it felt like he was in a very losing position, just being able to kind of make magic happen with the most wonky army of mostly Templar and Tempest, moving across the map with a mothership, and you win the game on the back of that. I mean, that was just surreal. And then in game number 2, with a very well-executed Adept Glaives attack, able to sweep his opponent off his feet. And now we're going to go into game number 3, and we'll see if we're going to continue on with this series, or if herO is going to be advancing into the upper bracket semifinals with a clean 3-0.
Yeah, the map is going to be at Eternity's Edge. We have herO in the top left and SHIN in the bottom right. And the question on my mind right now is SHIN going to be aggressive in this game? Maybe looking at the Solo Classic series, how successful some of those Roach Ravager Queen pushes were? Or is he going to kind of stick to his game plan here, go into the mid game, go into his layer tech, and try to play a longer game? Feels like against herO that's pretty tough.
Oh, early drone scout coming in by SHIN. Could this potentially be for a third hatch at herO's natural expansion?
Yeah, he could be proxying a hatchery.
He wouldn't go 3 hatch before pool.
No way.
I think it's going to be a hatch block.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Gonna proxy the hatchery of the natural, I'm guessing, or is he gonna make
I think
it
he
down
will.
here and then...
No way.
But he's not sending it into the natural.
Yeah, he's waiting until he has the minerals. He doesn't want it to get blocked.
He doesn't want to show it. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Right. You gotta wait until you have just enough that the moment the drone gets here, it can throw down the hatchery.
So we'll deny this Nexus going down for the moment.
Yeah, and herO scouting on the main base with SHIN sees that it was a hatch first build, and he sees no spawning pool just yet, and so herO, he has a couple different ways that he could play this. I'm actually a little bit surprised. This is one of the builds that doesn't have teeth. You know, like there isn't very much aggressive potential. I mean, there's literally none right now for SHIN. These are just hatcheries. They're only blocking things. And so I have expected herO to pull some probes, take down the hatchery, and then just quickly expand to the natural expansion, knowing that he's safe. But herO, being herO, naturally does the opposite. He throws down his second gateway. He's now building Zealots. This is likely going to be 2 Zealots and 2 Adepts moving across the map in just a couple of minutes. And I wonder if SHIN is going to be able to defend, because this can certainly deny a third base of SHIN, but it might even get some damage done in the natural expansion of SHIN.
Yeah, it might. I mean, the thing with making 2 hatcheries here is that your speed is going to be so late, right? Like, you take the gas much later. You're not going to have Zergling speed, so the Zealots will kind of be... Zealots and Adepts are going to be very difficult to kill. This hatchery is starting to get low, probably going to be cancelled here. Well, you might actually let it finish just to have extra XP, but...
I think you need to save the... I think you need to save the minerals.
I was thinking he might make an Evo chamber, but... I mean, I think you can stop that if you quickly move the Zealots on top of it, right?
I think 2 Zealots is enough DPS to take on Evolution Chamber, but it's very close to the breakpoint at the very least. I mean, the 2 Adepts, once they pop, certainly the Evolution Chambers will be going down.
Right.
And so hero's kind of one-basing right now. He's throwing down the Stargate. He's actually building 2 more Adepts. Is he going to proxy a pylon or something and go for an attack?
He has no Nexus right now. He's going
there
for
is no
a Stargate.
expansion.
Yeah, 1-base build right now. He does have a probe down here to maybe make one in the near future, but these Adepts are in production, and I mean, we have 10 Lings and 2 Queens right now. Speed is not going to be available just for the moment. The Adept Shade into the main.
Cleave's getting canceled right now. Zealots going to work on the Zerglings, onto the first queen. Now they're going to pull back. We have 2 more Adepts reinforcing in just a moment. And Shin's in an awkward position because he knows he needs to pull the Zerglings into the main base, because if those 2 Adepts get into the main base, too many drones are going to fall. But then it means he doesn't have enough in the natural expansion to actually clean up this force. And here behind this is expanding, but the fact that we have 4 Adepts right now is crazy.
Yeah, Shin already going back into drones here. Very bold maneuver as these queens might actually both fall. Does not shade into the main. Just, okay, that one queen just gets away on red HP. And this is amazing. Shin's just droning through this, by the way. This is so bold. We're relying on these queens and the Zerglings, but these Zerglings starting to get shaved off. Finally, speed is done. And now these Adepts have to make a decision.
Well, there's an Oracle on the way. I don't know if they do. I think you might push in here. There is 1 more queen for Shin. That's going to complicate matters a little bit here for herO. If it was just the 1 low HP queen. Okay, hold that thought, actually. Adepts shading into the main base right now. We do have a Spore Crawler in the main. We also have 1 in the natural expansion. Zealot takes down the queen in the natural expansion. The Adepts still fighting damage in the main base, Sturgeon. And now the natural is exposed.
Drone starting to fall, finally. 4 already going down, and there's no links down here to contest these Adepts. The drones try to fight themselves, but we know they do not have the damage necessary. More and more drones going to fall here. Okay, the Adept shade back into the main again. So brutal here for Shin.
It's a lot of damage done. herO is pulled ahead in workers right now, 28 to 21. As 13 drones fall, we have 2 oracles on the map. Still no 3rd base for Shin, by the way. And herO is about to have 3 oracles. I mean, what a perfect early game for herO. It is not easy to finesse this much damage out of a gateway unit start like that.
Yeah, 15 drones going down in total for just 2 Zealots and 5 Adepts. I mean, hero's just so far ahead right now. 33 pros to the 27 workers, and still 3 oracles on the field to take out queens, take out drones.
That's it.
That's just going to be it. GG.
Wow. What an early game from herO. I got to take notes on that one. That was the perfect defense of the 3 hatch before pool with one of those hatcheries proxy. I don't know why I can't speak suddenly, but I'm at a loss for words, I guess. But that was so well done. Usually it's 2 Zealots and 2 Adepts. It's kind of a similar defense to what you would do like if there was a 12 pool, right? Where you got to get some units to defend the 12 pool, and then you have the bonus as Protoss. You can move across the map. You can deny a 3rd base. You usually can't push in the natural expansion. But the starting in the main base and 2 more Adepts from the gateways means that herO had just enough firepower to get into the main base in the natural. With the Adepts, with the Shades, with the Oracles, everything fell apart.
Yeah, I was looking at Shin's droning during that game, and he was droning as the Adepts were killing all his units. I was like, you need some more lings here, right? But
I think he was just expecting it to be more of the standard response. It's 2 Zealots and 2 Adepts.
I thought the Adepts were going to go home at one moment.
Yeah.
But hero's like, no, actually, speed finishes. This is the moment I go in.
He's got an Oracle. I mean, you can make so much magic happen with that composition. True. I mean, that was just a perfectly played series by herO. And so that's going to wrap up the day. I mean, my goodness. I came in here kind of expecting a lot of game 4s, a lot of game 5s. I feel like Classic Solar, herO, Shin, they're pretty close in terms of skill, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't play out that way, man. It's some fast series.
Did not expect 2 3-0s at all. Especially the Solar Classic series. That one shocked me a lot. I feel like it's rare that Classic gets 3-0'd. Like, he's so good defensively, especially. Like, I mean, I'm sure it's happened a bunch, but I thought that was going to be a close series. But Solar takes that one 3-0, and then herO just speed runs the second set. And both those guys will move on to play in the round of 4.
Yeah, so here's a look at the schedule, everybody. Today is the 15th of May, so there is more RSL tomorrow, and the GSL finals are after that. We're going to continue on with the RSL next week, and then on the 30th and the 31st, we will be starting early for the finals. There's going to be a lot of StarCraft, a lot of series in those days, so if you're watching live, make sure you tune in 3 hours earlier.
Yeah, happy StarCraft month to everyone in the chat. So much GSL and RSL action here. And the bracket, we have, of course, Solar moving on, as well as herO, so they will play in the round of 4, and Classic and Shin will fall to the losers bracket, where they will have a second life and a second chance to bring this back and try to make a deep run down there in the lower bracket.
Yeah, and if you tune in tomorrow, you will see a lot of TBZs. Clem versus Rogue, which should be spectacular. Bunny versus Lambo, which should also be spectacular. It's going to be a lot of fun. And folks, we wouldn't be able to do this without the support of our official partner here at the RSL, Archon Studio. They're making the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game. If you've been watching the live broadcast, I'm sure you've seen Tasteless showing off the miniatures. I mean, these things just look absolutely awesome. And I've never really been a tabletop miniatures person. You know, I've have friends that play like the Warhammer games, that kind of thing before. It's a world that's new to me. And so when I'm watching these videos and I'm seeing Tasteless actually like talk about the way that you start with minerals and gas and you actually build up and you play it kind of like a board game or like a card game. You're like building your own little, you're building your own little empire. It's awesome.
Yeah, and you have the website where you can like click what you want to buy and stuff.
Yeah.
Click your loadout.
It's
kind of like
cool.
a build order.
Yeah, you can literally make a build order. It is absolutely awesome. And even if you're not interested in playing the kind of miniatures game, I mean, how often do we get cool StarCraft 2 memorabilia like this, you know?
I was so impressed with those Zerg units, the Nidus especially. We
talked about that every break. It looks awesome.
Yeah, but it would also be awesome if you guys check out the Patreon over at Revive SC2. You get to vote on maps if you sign up. You get all the replays from our pro games. You get to vote on the players as well. And you can also ask us some questions. And then we've had a poster go out. There's lots of different perks at different tiers, so check it out. There's also a free tier if you'd like to just sign up. Get an email every now and then to let you know when our events are going on.
Yeah, and folks, if you want to give us some support on YouTube, we would also appreciate that. Go to @ReviveSC2, click the like button, subscribe, and production has told us, actually, right before we went live today, there's a new feature on YouTube. I'm still very new to this, but I believe if you go to the YouTube app on your phone, where the comments are, if you swipe once to the left or to the right, you should be able to hype the video, and hyping the video is something you can only do in like the first week that it gets posted, and it basically tells YouTube, it tells the algorithm, hey, feed this to other people who want to watch this content. It would be awesome if you could do that. Let's try it out. Let's see if we get a little bit more traction on the RSL YouTube.
And there is a leaderboard for that as well. It's basically like the StarCraft ladder, guys. You can rank up the RSL on the ladder.
I didn't even catch there's a leaderboard about that.
Yeah, it's like a leaderboard. It shows the most popular videos, the ones that got hyped the most. So it's kind of like playing ladder games, man.
Guys, right now, we are in Bronze League. We want to at least get to gold. With your support on YouTube, we can make it happen. Anyway, that's going to be it for us today. It was a short day, 2 3-0s, but we'll be back again tomorrow with 2 TVZ Best of 5s. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you again soon.